Hello again, my name is Jason, and I'm going to be talking about The Adventures of Samurai Cat by Mark E. Rogers. I first came across this series of books quite a long time ago now, but the first one that I read was Samurai Cat Goes to the Movies. It was the only one of the Samurai Cat books that I could find at the library. I'd been going through the books at the library, obviously, and then saw Samurai Cat Goes to the Movies and thought, this is odd. I think I may have skipped it for the first couple of times I saw it there on the bookshelf. I'm like, what on earth is this? I checked it out, and I ended up reading it, rereading it, checking it out from the library multiple times until I was able to get a copy of my own. The thing is that I then went and found that there were other Samurai Cat books, but I couldn't actually get them anymore. They were no longer in print. And so the library couldn't get them. I ended up getting them all off of eBay. The only one I don't own was Samurai Cat Goes to Hell. I was a huge fan of each of the books. They kept getting better and better and better, and then it got to Samurai Cat Goes to Hell, and I'm just like, never mind. So anyway, The Adventures of Samurai Cat. To start out with, right here on the front cover of the book are the two main protagonists of the series. There's Samurai Cat. He is Miyawara Tomokato. And he is a human-sized bipedal samurai cat. And that's his nephew Shiro, who he's got under his arm and who is firing off the machine gun there. How to start? So, all of these books in the Samurai Cat series, they're all spoofs. So they all take on pop culture. First, it starts in literary culture, and then it moves on to movies, and it starts crossing things over. They do some crossover between, say, there is in one of the books. It's not this one, but it's in another book where they do a crossover between King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and Indiana Jones. So they do a little bit of the Once and Future King and kind of thing, and I don't know if that's the exact story. Anyway, in Samurai Cat, The Adventures of Samurai Cat, you have spoofs of The Lord of the Rings, Conan the Barbarian, and I'm trying to remember what the other ones were. Anyway, so Samurai Miyawara Tomokato, they end up calling him Tomokato the rest of the series. He is the most skilled and feared samurai in Japan, and he is a samurai under Oda Nobunaga. The same Oda Nobunaga who was supposed to be a demon, apparently. And the rumor had it that he was dead. And so a bunch of Oda Nobunaga's enemies come and attack his castle, and Tomokato shows up and wipes them out. And his lord is so grateful that he decides, you know what, you've been working for me for so long and so faithfully, I give you a day off. Go ahead and go visit your family. So he goes and visits his family, which consists of his older brother, his older brother's wife, and their, I think it's 4 or 5 kids, of whom Shiro is one of them. And Shiro is kind of in Japanese, Shiro means white, and he is a white kitten, but he's kind of the black sheep of the family. And he he visits his family, and then he leaves to go back to his lord's castle, to Oda Nobunaga's castle. And he gets there and finds that in the interim, Oda Nobunaga's enemies have attacked the castle again, and this time they were successful. And there is carnage that, if this wasn't a spoof, would not be believed. I mean, there's like, if I remember right, there's a Nazi submarine embedded in the castle, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So he finds his master's body, and Oda Nobunaga had been beheaded, but he was still able to talk, and he spoke to Tomokato and said, "These are the people who killed me, go get revenge." So the rest of the book is about him hunting down the various ne'er-do-wells and villains that were responsible for his lord's death. So the rest of it, they're typically famous literary, especially for this particular book, they're famous literary villains. And he runs into the different characters in those books. They don't always have the same names. For instance, he runs into the Fellowship that are going through the mines of in the book. It would be the mines of in The Adventures of Samurai Cat. It's the mines of Doom. So there's a lot of puns about cats and things, obviously. And in the one scene where Pippin drops or Merry or Pippin, fool of a toot, Pippin drops a stone down the well. Gandalf throws the Hobbit down the well after the stone. So there's that twist on it where you have these literary figures that are famous and very popular in their own genre. For instance, he does go into a story of Conan the Barbarian. And he meets him, only he's not Conan the Barbarian, he's Con Ed. And he goes with a team of his to hunt down a sorcerer who'd been responsible for his lord's death. And the entire time they're going to track down this sorcerer, Con Ed keeps saying how he is the best barbarian and the strongest, and he will be the one to kill the sorcerer. And they have these other warriors with them. And I'm trying to... No, it doesn't say it on here, on the front of the book, but I believe it's inside the front cover. It says lavishly illustrated. So the author, Mark E. Rogers, illustrates these stories. And so you get to see the various barbarians that are in this party. And one of them is like totally a barbarian mixed with a punk, and he has a giant double-edged razor blade as his weapon. And another one is totally Canadian with a hockey stick. And the books are funny. But like I said, they got better, in my opinion, over time. This book was good. I very much enjoyed reading The Adventures of Samurai Cat. But as it went along, each story each book got progressively better. And sometimes that does happen with writers. I've noticed the early books, not that they're bad or anything, it's just that as the writer got more experience writing, the writing tightened up, the timing was better, the descriptions were better, that kind of thing. Some authors, not so much. And again, like I said, I very much enjoyed The Adventures of Samurai Cat, but actually my favorite book in the series was Samurai Cat Ghost. Is Samurai Cat Ghost the movies? Very funny, very good. I liked the references back to the various stories that I've read, and not just the stories that I've read, but also movies and things that Mark Rogers brought in. Actually, for a while, this one of the books, I don't remember if it's this one or if it was one of the others, was the most expensive book that I'd ever bought, just because I had to buy it on eBay and it was an auction, and I had to pay, I don't remember how much at this point. It was over $100 for the book, and you can see it's not a very thick book by that picture there. So it just very popular, very good books, but they're not being printed anymore. They're older. So if you do have a chance to read these books, you know someone who has them, or you know where you can get them, go for it. These are very good books. And I do have to say I was kind of disappointed with the Samurai Cat Goes to Hell book. Not really. It was okay. It just wasn't that great compared to the other ones. It was kind of a downhill. I did read something online that made it. It was kind of an interesting commentary on the way the book series went. With apparently the Samurai Cat Goes to Hell, there was a lot of demand for more Samurai Cat books. Like I said, they're good, and there was a lot. It took me quite a while and quite a bit of money in order to actually build up my collection and collect all the books. But I don't know if the author was just tired, but they felt that in Samurai Cat Goes to Hell that they wanted to end the series, and I don't know if that influenced the author to make it so that the book just wasn't as good as the other books. I don't know if he was just kind of bored with the Samurai Cat series at that point, didn't want to do it anymore, and so he just didn't put as much effort into it as he had some of the other ones. But again, it's a great series. The Adventures of Samurai Cat is a great start to the series, but in reality, you can pick it up anywhere along the line because it does reference back to the beginning and why Samurai Cat is going through these fictional histories and movies and things and killing various people and why he's trying to avenge his lord that way. So if you like I said, if you have access to these, or you know where you can get them, read them. They're great. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. Like and subscribe, and look forward to more book reviews.